What should we expect lineup-wise from you?
I have to go back on the defenseman situation. Hopefully we got all our Ds available, and we're probably going to have to bring a forward up. Well, not probably. We will have to bring somebody up, whether I go 11 or it depends on the defenseman situation. Go back and decide which goaltender we're going to put in tomorrow. Talk about that, and so that's where we're at. So tomorrow will be all the decisions, so you can wake up and run to the rink and.
Well, normally, I would assume you would have gone to Anderson, given Nielsen's play.
Yeah, and yeah. So that's where I think we'll see, discuss, and we'll make a decision on that.
What has your pre-scout told you about Winnipeg?
Well, they're outstanding. I mean, it's one of the most impressive teams in the league for sure. I mean, last year I would say probably from ice level, it was the most impressive team because they've got everything: goaltending, size, speed, skill. So that's a team that's going to be good for many, many years. So it's an intimidating team in that respect because they come at you with everything, and they've got shooters. Their power play's great. I mean, their penalty kill, they've got gigantic bodies that are really tough to get through. They're very tight, so not much plays you can do there in a power play. So it's one of those teams that Toronto the other day was top end team that's aspiring for the cup. They're aspiring for the cup, so in that sense it's a bit similar. Different look though. It's a different type of team.
How much of your improved penalty killing is the system, and how much, you looked at the numbers since Pageau's come back, how much is Pageau contributing?
Well, November 14th was the date that we changed what we were doing because we adapted, and we didn't have the defensive core to do what we were doing at the beginning, and we were doing it being what Arizona's been doing since they're at the top of the league. So we know that what we wanted was good, but you always have to adapt your personnel. By the time we figured out that our defensive core wasn't ready for that, we flipped to another way of playing, and since November 14, we've been really good. I think before last night we were 7th in the league since November 14th, so we have been doing good for a long time now. Having added Pageau there, again, has to do with personnel. It always has to do with personnel. Every system works and every system doesn't work. That's how it is. It depends on what you got, and you got to figure out and try things until you know what's best for your team. Sometimes you're lucky you get it right away, and sometimes it doesn't take very long, and sometimes it takes much longer to figure it out. But anytime that you get players that are experts at what you're asking, of course, your efficiency goes way up. Like our power play is good, but we don't have the outside one-timer guys, which would give us another look. So I would, so there's different things that our second power play missing probably some top shots on that. So the minute you add on to some expertise on whatever you're doing, your efficiency is good. So adding Pageau is huge. Plus, what it does for us is it has an impact on a 5-on-5 too, because a guy like Stone, instead of having all the minutes on a penalty kill, because Pageau's not there, and then missing a bit of juice sometimes for the 5-on-5. But when you have a lot of penalty kill, well, then a game like yesterday on a back-to-back, I didn't have to play Stone there. It was Tierney and Pageau, and I could double shift those two guys, and then you end up with Stone fresh and doing what he did yesterday. So, every guy that you bring into your lineup that's an expert at something is going to change so much. So it's the NHL. That's what it is. You lose one guy, it's not good. You get one guy back, it's great. It makes a gigantic difference. And it would be the same on defense. You get a defenseman that, he's either a younger guy that all of a sudden becomes a real top-end NHL guy because he's there at that point, or another guy you get from somewhere else jumping into your lineup, that would change our top four dramatically. That's where we're at. I mean, in top four, there's only 4 guys. So the minute you add one, let's say you've only got 2, you add one, all of a sudden you got a top 3, and you can relay one guy in your top 4. But when you're missing 2, you got to relay 2 guys, and so NHL is 1 or 2 guy difference. It makes all the difference in the world. If you look at Toronto and their rebuild, they're at the bottom of the league, and then in one summer they go get one goalie, and then Matthews and Marner comes in, and all of a sudden they're contenders. So that's what the NHL is. It doesn't take much to turn things around and improve.
Anderson a 5 victoires en 7 matchs.
Qui ça? Ouais, il y a 5 victoires en 7 matchs, oui.
Quand on lui demande qu'est-ce qu'il fait ça, il dit que c'est des joueurs devant lui qui font tout le travail. Les joueurs gars, c'est parti déjà.
Ben oui, définitivement. Écoute, je pense que ce qui était très bon, c'est que tout de suite, quand on regarde des vidéos, là, je ne compte pas de mentir, moi, les gardiens de but, là, on arrête la rondelle, puis je ne m'occupe pas de ça. Là. Pierre a passé beaucoup de temps à évaluer les gardiens de but quand on cherchait à aller se trouver un NHL backup. Là. Fait que quand il a regardé Nielsen sur vidéo, lui, il disait lui était capable de faire quelque chose avec lui, les petits changements qu'il aurait voulu. Fait qu'il, tout de suite en arrivant, il s'est occupé de lui, puis on a vu tout de suite une amélioration, les pratiques, puis les matchs, on l'a vu tout de suite. Fait que, tu sais, en ce moment, je pense que c'est un super mix c'est un gars très intelligent, très réceptif, extrêmement travaillant, tellement en forme, là. Là, t'agences ça avec quelqu'un qui l'a compris, puis fait que là, les deux ensemble, ça a fait une bonne chimie, puis on a vu une amélioration tout de suite. Fait qu'en ce moment, ben, regarde, c'est sûr que si on avait eu ça depuis le début de l'année, ça aurait fait une énorme différence là, dans où on est en ce moment dans le standing, c'est certain. Mais on est content de l'avoir là, en tout cas, ça c'est sûr.